The person living with dementia may not remember the day, but they can enjoy the moment. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to the elders, past, present and emerging. Thank you. Ladies, thank you so much for coming along today. What we're hoping to do is just produce some videos with some tips and hints and information for the Aboriginal communities and Torres Strait Islander communities on things to do with dementia and where they can go for help, both hopefully locally but also nationally. And we really appreciate you giving up your time today. So we thought we'd have a little morning tea.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask you both, what made you look and ask for help? What was the first thing that you noticed perhaps about your person?
I think I noticed, I'm talking about my dad, and he would just might leave his coffee in the microwave for a while because he used to heat it up all the time. But it could be cold and then he would forget about it, or there would be food left in the fridge that would be there for more than a few days, like his Meals on Wheels and things like that. Also, he would lose his keys all the time, his key card. Even, I know one time he just would be downtown and he forgot where he parked his car and couldn't find it for probably over an hour. So they were sort of like, and just conversations, he needed to go downtown and go and buy milk where he might already had 3 or 4 already in the cupboard. Or peaches, because he used to love peaches. So he would say, I've got to go down and buy peaches and custard and things like that, that he would already have in the cupboard that I took him down the day before. Mm-hmm. So there's sort of a lot of those little things that he would forget.
What about you, Lesley?
With my sister, she locked herself out once and she had problems with her phone, because she'd either turn it off or says it doesn't work, or it's not charged, or forgot the keys, forgot where she was staying. Someone came to visit, but they didn't. But she could remember stuff where she was a young girl out in the bush with her grandparents, and she talked about that a lot. So we started thinking, oh, something's happening here, because she was a very independent person for 50 years, lived on her own for a very long time, was self-sufficient, did her own banking, did her own cooking, and that's a big thing. She doesn't do it anymore. She did her own cleaning, and then when we started to notice things was when the keys got lost, and went to the bank and just took everything out. I had to check her banking because she wasn't paying the rent and stuff like that, because she just forgot it was there. And I was a bit worried about her, because I was thinking, oh, I forget where I put my keys. But if I walk around 2 minutes later, there they are there. But she just did not remember. And the day she got locked out, my cousin just happened to be next door. So here they was, both standing out in the cold, because he couldn't leave her, because he didn't have keys either. He was waiting for his mum to come along. And so the magic of mobile phones got us there to the house to let them in. And yeah, but it was sad to see like that, because you're such a strong, independent person. This is early in the diagnosis. Then I said, oh, we better take her and get her checked out. And then we ended up having an assessment with the doctor, the specialist, and we worked from there. But yeah, we put a lot of things in place to keep it going. It's a lot of hard work, but you just do what you do.
And I noticed also with Dad, he would love going down to the club, and then he was like every Friday religiously and going down to the raffles, and then he sort of withdrew and just wasn't going, which was not normal. So his social aspect of isolating himself was another factor as well.
I think people get, they know that something's not always quite as it should be for themselves, and so they isolate so that they don't embarrass themselves,
That's what it was, yes.
you know, even amongst family and friends. And I think that's sad.
Yeah, I know another time we were at a funeral and I sort of caught on what was going on, and I remember before someone would come up and I knew they were coming to Dad, and I said, "Oh, Dad, this is your cousin so-and-so." So when they came, he knew who they were,
Perfect.
and so they were fairly good at masking that embarrassment, I suppose. And also, yet some people he would know, and then someone came up to him and he goes, "Who were they?" You know, he didn't know who they were, even though they may have been his first cousin.
I mean, I always advocate for introducing yourself, even when you're the son or the daughter. So my mother lives in Scotland, and I would phone her every day and I'd say, "It's me from over the sea."
Yeah.
That was our little thing. And she could place which of the three of us it was. And that was, I didn't have to say my name. I just had to give her a little joke.
Yes.
And it just meant she could figure out who it was she was talking to. And as you say, saved that embarrassment of, and the blankness that, and panic that sometimes you see in people's eyes when they realise that something's, they can't remember, you know, it'd be hard. Did you have to wait long for assessments, you know, either with the GP or with the specialists?
We didn't wait long. I took sister to her GP and said I have a few concerns about this because she was, we had to put things in place at the club, for instance, because the people down there, I said, if she's down there on her own, ring us please, because she will want to walk home or she might forget if someone's picking her up. The phone wasn't a help because she wouldn't answer it. So we had that put in place, for instance. And then when this kind of started happening, I thought, oh, we've got to get something else happening. So I went to the service providers, the relevant ones, and got things put in place. And they're nicely put in place now. And it was a slow progression with her, you know, but she knew how to, she used to walk to the club.
Yes, she did.
But now it's not a safe thing for her. So we have to put things in place with people to make sure, and the support services going with my sister is absolutely wonderful.
Good. A lot of people are reluctant to sort of access services, but they don't realise it's beneficial for the person as well, because they're getting someone who's not just family, or they get a total stranger that becomes a friend, and they can do some nice things together and gives them a feeling of independence and autonomy, you know, that doesn't always happen.
She gets all her health issues attended to, podiatrist. We're having a bit of a battle with the optometrist because she doesn't like doing the eye thing. Stuff like that. But we just keep working on it.
And that's all you can do.
Yeah, and it's a family thing. We, you know, got and a couple of community members who keep an eye on her. Yeah.
But she's also such a lovely person that,
She is. She's
you
gone to
know,
elders today.
she's known in the community.
Yes. And that's it. The people know her. And it helped. It helped having that there, having that support person and service there. But sister has a very strong family network in town, and we do a tag team, because if we don't do that, we're going to get burnt out. Everyone's got a set of keys. I have a whiteboard. We have a whiteboard communication book. I ring the services up every day, check to see that she's got a watch. She's got what do you call them? vital call, a watch on her arm,
An alarm.
an alarm. I've got that written on the board. Please check her vital call, make sure she has a walker. She's forgetting all this stuff now where she wasn't. And she had a really bad fall last week. But she was with she was with somebody when she fell, she was with somebody, she just rushed and gets forgetful, where she's walking, forgetful.
I know in Linda's case that she saw a doctor on the television screen. Yeah. Did you find that worked well?
Yes.
For you guys?
It was really good. And when the doctor said to her, get up and walk so I can see you walking, I was thinking, oh, what's happening here? But you can tell by, that the doctor was doing what she needed to do to see that her walk was okay. So...
Did you have long to wait for a diagnosis?
It sort of took a while, but he had some really great GPs.
Yeah, and that's a big thing.
They were really great, and they sort of could see it as well. He might turn up for an appointment that he never even had, or didn't recognise the GP at the time. Mm-hmm. He already had a package, mm-hmm. but it needed to be up to a higher one for him to stay at home and still be individual. And I just happened to be working with a lady who worked in the memory assessment program, who sort of guided me along certain areas to the providers, service providers, mm-hmm. to get him like a mini assessment.
Fantastic. Did the pair of you find it easier, having had histories working in the health industry?
Yeah.
Did you find that a little bit easier to navigate the systems?
Well, when I was working in aged care many moons ago, but it still stays with you. And that experience working with elderly folk and people with disabilities, it does give you that knowledge, and you kind of, it comes back to you to say, oh, well, you know, she might need to have this, or and yeah, the experience did help a lot.
Oh, that's
because yeah.
Well, you've helped a lot of people in the past, so...
Yes, I worked in, yeah.
You know, so I think it's good that you could get benefit from your years of working and...
Well, your little light comes on and think, oh, something's happening here that's not right. So I'm going to reach out to people and say, well, we need to do something for Sister.
And I think that one of the problems is that a lot of people think that forgetfulness or dementia is a normal part of ageing, and it's not. So sometimes if you can have an assessment, get a diagnosis, there are tablets that sometimes you can take, and it's good. And so the more even people talk to each other about it, and we lose some of the shame and stigma attached to the word dementia, that I think that's always a good thing, and that's why it's wonderful you're talking with us. Thank you.
Well, I know when I tried to explain to the family I didn't like the word dementia, because I know there's many, lots of different dementias, so to speak, and Alzheimer's. I just said it's memory loss. I have memory loss. I forget what I say to the kids, what day is it? But that's probably because I'm retired and don't have anything to... But I make a bit of a joke of it, but you don't make a joke of it with... So we didn't use dementia or anything like that. And I over the years, I don't think I ever used that word. I mean, it was in the programs and that what we were doing, but I didn't.
But I don't think we ever really did, unless the person themselves used the word.
Yeah.
We tended not to.
Yeah, it's
because
like a stigma attached to it.
There's no need also to ram it home. You don't do it with other diseases. So I used to say to my mum, look, you've got a problem with your memory, Mum, but... And then something positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she accepted that because she thought I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Has it been difficult to talk to the family or get the family to accept diagnoses of dementia? Is it something a lot of people say, oh, no, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them?
No, our family, as we are older, and our dad, I think he forgot a lot of stuff too, but he We didn't know what it was about then.
No.
That's a long time ago, back in the in the late 70s, 80. We just knew that someone had to be with Dad all the time. We didn't have support services. It was just family, look after him. That's what he did to us. We would look after him. There was no services come in. There's always someone there to make sure that he was okay. And that's a while ago. But as now, you've got a lot more support around. And we thought, no one's going to come and look after our father. We're going to do that ourselves. And we did that. But yeah, it's wonderful having the support around now, because carers burn out too.
Very much
And
so.
being in the services, being in the aged care industry myself, I know that carers they need caring for as well. So it's important.
Yeah, it's good you've got that insight, Lesley, because it also means you give that advice to other people in other families.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's that community knowledge.
Yep.
Can really help.
I think the family, they understood what it was, dementia was. But I think when he was in the nursing home and then the grandchildren would go and see him, that just broke their heart seeing him like that. And I remember one of my nieces, she had been there to visit him, and then a few days my daughter came along and she said, "Oh, was it good to see my niece?" And he goes, "Oh, did she come?" And he forgot all about it. And then when we relayed the story to her, she just started crying because he had lived with her for many years and she couldn't believe that he forgot that she was there.
Quite a good thing to do if people are in respite even, or in their own home or in care, is to have like a little visitor's book, just a nice little notebook type thing.
Yeah.
And people can write down what date they visit, what time of day they visited, and who it was, obviously. And it means that when somebody else goes in, they can look at the book and say, "Oh, I see Betty came to visit you. That must have been nice."
Yeah.
Whether she can remember it or not. There's this lovely saying in the world of dementia, people might not remember the day, but they can enjoy the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's really what's important. So, but the book can help jog memories or discussion and that sort of thing, which is really handy.
We had a communication book when Linda first got assessed, and we all used to write in it. And but now, if we use it, we have to put it somewhere where she won't know, because she keeps moving things around.
That's where your big whiteboard's good.
The whiteboard's wonderful, because she knows not to touch that whiteboard. Don't look at it, don't touch it.
But you also put in the whiteboard if one of you's on holiday or away,
Yep.
so that the rest of the family know what's
We've
happening.
got phone numbers there. On Linda's watch, there's 5 numbers so far. She rang me this morning. I got a bit panicky, so I went over to her place in my pyjamas. I can't find my keys. Are you okay? She got a bit frazzled because I said, "It's okay, just sit down and we'll have a look for them." And she found them in the laundry. But we have sets of keys.
Do you have a little lockbox?
No, we didn't. We decided against a lockbox.
Probably enough of you around.
There are enough of us around. The neighbours across the road keep an eye on her.
And for those that don't have lots of family around, the lockboxes you can just buy at local hardware stores and attach them either to the wall or to a fly screen and have a hidden key in there with a code. And you can give the code to ambulance people and different things. So
That's a good idea.
yes, it works really well, especially if you lock yourself out the house like I have done, and also storybooks. A good thing if for going into respite, or even if you're having a lot of respite workers in the house, is a wee book that just who I am. This is my family, my sisters, my brothers, nieces, nephews, mum and dad, these are my pets that I've had or loved. This is where I worked. If it's a happy memory. If it's not, I would leave it out. I used to like walking, hiking, playing hockey, playing football, or like with Linda, that I am football mad and this is my team, so don't ask me to support anybody else. Um, Things like that that are really important for other care workers to know about your person and not see them as just another client with dementia, but see them as this is the person and this is who they are and who their essence is.